Welcome to Pure Phuckery The Podcast. I am your host. It's your favorite Dr. Bay, Monique Ross. I am here today with special fucking guest co-host. I got my homegirl in the motherfucking building.
Long time coming.
Hey man, I got fucking JP Diddy in the fucking building. JP Diddy's in fucking Pure Phuckery The Podcast studios, aka Big Stu Films.
Shout out to Big Stu.
Shout out to Big fucking Stu, the man, the myth, the fucking legend. Hey man, so I got JP Diddy in the building. Tell us about JP Diddy.
So there's a story behind it. So for whatever reason, I have like 5,000 nicknames, right? So most folks just call me JP. Some people call me JP CEO, but Bruce Franks Jr. calls me Pistol.
All right.
There are people who call me
Pistol Pete,
JPZ, and this young lady Ebony. She has a podcast called The Operating Room.
The Operating Room. Shout out to Ebony. Yeah, with The Operating Room.
Yeah, she has been calling me JP Diddy for the longest time. And she was like, I'm going to get you some merchandise. I was like, and I'm going to wear it.
I dig it.
Boom.
I dig it.
And so
JP Diddy. Why JP Diddy?
And the CEO is on the back.
Why JP Diddy, though? Because we all know who Diddy is, and we all know who JP is.
Yeah.
And if you don't know who the fuck JP is, this my own girl, JP Phillips, is in the building.
I guess because I do a little bit of everything.
You do a little bit of everything.
You know, besides dance, I don't.
You don't dance.
I can't dance like Diddy, but I don't
dance either.
I don't try. Right? I'm not getting in front of the camera and trying.
I've been in front of the camera. There's a couple twerk videos out there in the world of me, and you would be surprised because
no, ma'am.
Yeah, man, I do a little something. Step out your comfort zone, JP.
Yeah,
so
good.
JP Diddy's hands are in so much shit, like motherfucking Diddy. So just give us a rundown. What all JP got going on these days? And we go double back in a minute, because there's a story of how JP and Moe became JP and Moe. Because it's a fucking JP and Moe out there. Like it's look, I'm manifesting that shit. There's a JP and Moe something out there.
Oh yeah,
it's coming. Just wait on it. But tell us, JP, what you?
So in a nutshell, I'm a strategist, a business strategist. Mm-hmm. But that comes with layers and layers and layers of things. So I'll try to name everything without forgetting something. But so I'm a podcast coach. I've been podcasting for a while myself, but I've been coaching folks for almost a decade now.
Damn.
No, it has been a decade.
That's dope.
Right? It's 2021. It's been a decade.
Damn.
So I have people that I coach from all over.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize this, but there are whole corporations that are like training their staff to train and do things, train their customers through podcasting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty dope. So I do that. I have a podcast myself, Testimony Tuesday Radio. Also the podcast Push. I produce a show called That's My Jam, a live music mix. So shout out to TB2 and DJ Radar. I have some relationships with like 88.1, The Truth, TOKOVO Radio, the St. Louis Trotters. I'm the Director of Operations for the men's.
Shout out to the St. Louis Trotters.
Yeah, for the basketball team.
Okay.
What else? It's some other stuff. It's too much stuff. It's a lot of stuff.
Too much stuff. It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I ain't mad at it, JP. It says successful millionaires run multiple businesses. They have multiple streams of income.
You just made me think. So I have a recruiting firm.
Recruiting firm.
I have the recruiting firm on her recruiters. I do a lot of coaching, a lot of workshops on everything from podcasting to leadership. So the schedule is full.
Speaking of leadership, let's go back to where JP and I first initially crossed paths.
That place,
y'all.
Yeah, that place.
So we both were employed. We both were employed by a major transportation logistics corporation.
Yes.
Fucking shout out to 5631 STMO. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to y'all. We ain't even gonna tell where it was, but just know, shout out. They know. You know,
they gonna be hitting us up too.
You know. So we crossed paths at this major corporation that we both were employed. I hired you on as a fucking manager. She came in as one of my operations managers, right?
Yep.
And me and JP just always had this relationship, this friendship, like from the jump, like I handpicked her, I pushed to get you on board. I had to convince a couple of people, you know, and not that you didn't have it, because you absolutely came in the fucking
because
building.
I was raw.
You had the juice, and she was raw, and y'all know me. I'm raw.
Raw meaning I told him the truth. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I didn't
sugarcoat shit.
Yeah, I didn't fluff it. I told them the truth, and some folks will say they want to hear the truth, as long as that truth isn't about them.
Flat out, man.
And there were a few people who
you ruffled some feathers.
Yeah,
you ruffled some feathers. But hey, I ate that shit up because I saw a lot of me in that, you know, sitting across from me, and I was like, that's our girl, that's our manager, man. Yeah, that's it, that's her. Yeah. And so brought JP on as an operations manager. We just gonna revisit this, take a walk down memory lane real quick, man. And we worked together. How long were you there? 2 years, I want to say 2 years.
Yeah, and something like that.
Yeah, JP, she came in and she definitely ruffled some fucking feathers, but it was necessary. It was necessary. She's one of those people that, you know, she gonna say what she gotta say. You know, and she's not going to sugarcoat it. Respectfully, you know. Me disrespectfully. Until I go and talk to Mo, and then I'm like, do you know? Right. How many times did you watch? You know what?
It's like, look, I need to close the door for a second.
Yeah, like some shit that happened, something went down, and, you know, JP ended up leaving. She's like, I have other avenues that I'm going to pursue.
Yeah, that was definitely like, and I don't know if we ever talked about that. Like that was the moment that I really knew. Like that was
the same for me.
The way that leadership treated people.
Not me, right?
No, not you.
Like
you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
But the way that leadership treated people, like I couldn't do it. It was starting to make me angry. Right. I was starting to get to the point where I was just like. This is just tasteless, and it's time to go. Because
you're a people person, JP. Yeah. You're absolutely a people person. You have a knack in a way with people. Yeah. And I love that about you. That's one of my favorite characteristics of JP.
So, you know, the nickname for that place, I call it Satan's Island.
Satan's Island.
So it was just some madness. It was just some madness going on.
Oh, man.
Like, it would seem like one thing would get better, and then I turn around, I'm like, wait a minute. Come on, man.
I felt like the ringleader at times. I just felt like, you know, and I know it wasn't all me. Like, I had my toxicity. We all do. We all operate in low energy vibrations, and we all have the ability to operate in a higher energy frequency. And there's definitely instances where I was operating in that low energy vibration, where I was a part of the devil's paradise? Or what did you
Satan's Island.
Satan's Island. Where the fuck what I just come up with? I don't know, man. Whatever.
Remixed my name.
Hey, Satan's Island too. That too. Devil's Paradise. Well, we gonna go with Satan's Island, you know. But yeah, like I definitely can attest that, man, it was that place, JP, it opened my eyes. Like, when I walked in there, I was this very optimistic, young, naive, you know, just, you know, out of college, first job where it was just me, you know, kind of head bitch in charge. Because, you know, I was basically the head bitch in charge. We had a head nigga in charge, but I was the head bitch in charge. And, but that place, like, I don't know, man. It definitely changed me. It changed me. It absolutely.
I had to go before it did.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like somebody was going to catch these hands.
Catch these hands.
And so, and you know what? It was leadership.
Leadership.
It actually, like, the folks who worked for me and with me, like, they got it. Like, ultimately, after I got done shaking everything down, like, they got it because they knew I was just trying to make everything more efficient.
You were.
And they got to the point where they were just like, oh, okay, so I'm not busting my back right now. And it's because you took this and moved it over here and put that there. I get it now.
Right.
Right? But, again, leadership, the way that people were talked to and treated, like, no.
Yeah. I didn't agree with it, and a lot of times it happened before it even got to me.
Yeah.
But I tried to be the change that I.
Yeah, and you were just in a tough position because at the end of the day, no matter how many times people came to me or came to you, like, he ultimately had
the upper hand.
Right. And because his attitude would not change, even though he started to see the change in general. His attitude didn't change, and before it just got ugly, I knew.
Look, I brought too much. Look who wrote it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, man. I had that on the bookshelf, and I said I'm gonna pull that out so me and JP can talk about it. It's a poetry. It's a poetry book, and like, I ordered it off of Amazon, and I read it.
Wow.
It was
really. I hadn't seen that name in a long time.
Yeah, man. Well, we ain't gonna go off into it. We're not gonna go off into it. So, anyhow, from that place,
yes.
A friendship, a bond developed. JP, no matter what the fuck I got going on, no matter what she got going on, JP gonna check in with me. It might be weeks, months, whatever go by. It ain't never been a whole year. Like, she's always reached out, always contacted, what's going on, Mo. Even when I failed to, not reciprocate or, not just return the energy where I always reply, but I don't always check in. I'm horrible at checking in. Like, I see you on social media, I'm going to show you mad love. I'm going to comment when I had the time and energy too. But you just always been one of those people that, like, you kind of, you push me, you encourage me, you've always supported, always showed me mad love. And I remember I reached out to JP, like, when I started writing my book, the book writing process. And I talked to JP about it.
I remember that day. I was actually on the Schnucks parking lot. I was on the Schnucks parking lot. And
you remember that day?
I remember that day.
That speaks volumes to me, because clearly I left an impression. Like, what the fuck was that?
What?
I did. I just called JP, and I'm one of those people. If you know me, and that's like, we have this certain dynamic because different friends serve different purposes in our lives, right? But if you had me, if you were JP, you would understand it. If we engaged in that, in that persona, I guess, you would know this about me. Like, sometimes I'm gonna dial your line, and as soon as you pick up, I'm just gonna go.
Yes.
And you ain't gonna be able to say shit, but hold the phone and fucking listen.
Okay. So, and that's how it starts. And then maybe 30 minutes later, I'm like, okay.
She's scratching her head.
So, you see?
Trying to figure out what the fuck was that.
So what you doing? I remember that day. Because I thought, after you gave me the spill, I was like, that's a dope idea.
Dope ass idea. So I called her about my book, and I was telling her about, the Miseducation of Monique Ross. It's a 3-part series. Y'all know that. It's coming, man. I swear to God, we this close. That nut is about to bust. It's coming. I'm coming. Wow. Listen, I'm coming.
I've literally been putting up with this
I'm about to come.
For many, many, many years. And I want to tell people this, right? So if you think this is an act, it is not.
It is not. Only be me, yo.
Let me tell you, I don't care. We have been in the room with, highly decorated professionals. That's Mo.
Because guess what? I'm a highly decorated professional myself.
Minus the swearing.
Minus the swearing. I know how to
swear.
She will attest that I know how to turn that shit off. I don't always cuss.
The swear.
I don't always cuss, Stu. Shout out to Stu. Big Stu Films.
But
in the fucking building.
But the energy and the It's
me. Yeah. It's me. And listen, let me tell y'all something. I've had multiple people ask who the fuck gave her a microphone and a camera. JP, shout out to JP fucking Diddy for encouraging the fuckery that is my life.
Now you gotta tell them the first time.
I gotta tell y'all. So y'all know I called her about the book, and you know, like I said, it's coming. But the podcast, Pure Phuckery The Podcast, Pure Phuckery, she did not encourage that. She encouraged it. I mean, when I told her,
I know you. Though.
She knows me, but minus Pure Phuckery, she's the person that encouraged me getting a microphone and a camera. So I'm gonna tell y'all the story. I've told this story before, but we're gonna run it back because it's in one of the earlier episodes, probably episode 1 or 2. Here we are though. Oh, wow. Yeah, I talked about this in episode 2, but here we are now, and JP reached out to me a while back. This was probably 2018, 19?
Had to be 18.
18,
I'm thinking.
And she says, you know, we're waiting. We got the book in the process. Like, if you guys don't know, like, it's a traditional book deal. Like, it's a book deal. Like, I'm not self-publishing the project.
Nope.
So, you know, that's what the holdup is. I don't have the ability to just put it out there how I want to put it out there at this point.
Thought about it a couple times.
Thought about buying myself out and figuring out, you know, and going through that. But I just feel like the wait, the buildup, all of it is, you know.
It's actually you, though.
It's partially me.
This process is you.
It is. Like, it wouldn't be me if I didn't have all of this shit happening. Like, the fuckery, that is my life.
I would say this. If Mo called me and said that she was walking up 2 blocks and I didn't get a call back that said she stopped 3 times along the way, I wouldn't believe it. So this whole process is you.
I don't know how to take that, but here we are.
Because you're going to be like, you know what, I should pick this up along the way.
Hey, I'm going to stop. And look, that's my fucking problem. I stop and I pet every barking dog. Stopping. You cannot pet every barking dog along the way on your journey. Stop it. I'm telling myself, but I know it's somebody out here that's gonna feel me. Stop that shit. We can't stop and pet every barking dog. Pardon my analogy, but anyhow.
That was an interesting analogy.
Interesting, more interesting than you said. What'd you just say to me? You said, say it again, JP.
If you were gonna walk up 2 blocks, I would fully expect you to call me back and say that you made some stops along the way. Because
listen,
now when this book is released, we're gonna do this again just to talk about the process of the book.
Man, it's in a process.
It's a process.
But guess what, man? I know what I wrote. I know what I have in my hands, so I absolutely know that it's gonna be well worth the wait, and I trust the timing.
Yeah,
you know, I had to reach this point in my life where I'm completely and utterly unashamed.
Yeah,
of
definitely
any and everything. I'm free, like y'all. Like I'm such a fucking free spirit. I pay my karma, I pay my dues, so I know for a fact it's only up. Like. You know, like I've been at the bottom. I've lost it all. You know, I've sacrificed. I've hurt. I've cried. I've endured. So it's only up from here. And I know that this shit is going to be well worth the wait. And this is going to put me in a position to where I want to be in life. As far as my brand, as far as every fucking thing across the board, who I am, like this solidifies, like I'm walking in my truth, I'm standing in my truth, I'm walking in my purpose, I'm being who I'm supposed to be, who I am. And I'm not sugarcoating, I'm not hiding it. And I had to reach that point where, because you know, I question, like, am I really gonna put this shit out? Like, am I really gonna share this with the world? And now that I'm in this space that I'm in now, where it's like, fuck it, I'm sharing it. Like, I'm already sharing it. The book is just before all this. Like, that tells the story of before Pure Phuckery, before Dr. Bay, before all of this shit.
Podcast will make a whole lot of sense.
Look, once you read this fucking book, it's gonna, the podcast, Pure Phuckery, everything, it's all gonna make sense to you, and you'll understand like why I chose to pursue a degree in literary arts, a PhD in literary arts, and then take that degree. And I could do anything in the world, JP. I could do anything in the world, like literally a fucking doctor. And don't get me wrong, because I'm pursuing other avenues. I'm doing other shit. We don't talk about that because I'm two completely different people when it comes to your real, like Dr. Monique Ross versus your favorite Dr. May. That is true. Those are two completely different people. Yes. But the fact that I chose to use a portion of that person, because I bring that part of me over here into this podcast. And I'm just unapologetically me. And I fucking love it here. I'm so far out of my comfort zone, but I fucking love it here, man. Like, I absolutely love it here. And windows and doors of opportunity are opening up for me. And it's mad crazy. It's mad crazy. But this ain't about me. This ain't about me, y'all.
You gotta finish telling them the story about the first podcast encounter, though. All
right. So the first podcast encounter, y'all. Thank you for keeping me on track, JP. Thank you for keeping me on track. I left my notebook at home, and we're shooting out of the new studios, Big fucking Stu Films, nice, Big Stu Media. It's a fantastic space. It's dope as fuck. So I'm winging it right now. So don't judge me, judge your motherfucking mama. Anyhow, the story goes, JP reaches out to me and she's like, she's pressuring me. At this point, it's pressure. You didn't know this because I never sweat, never let them see you sweat. Mm-hmm. But I felt pressured. I was under peer pressure. Mm-hmm. And she kept saying, Mo, you should be doing a podcast. All that shit you can be popping it on the podcast. And I'm just, the world does not deserve to know me like that. That's my struggle with the book. Does the world deserve to know me like that? But y'all know me now, so shit, the book, it ain't gonna, it'll make sense. That's all it's gonna do for you. But JP's do a podcast, so she convinces me to come over to the studio where she was originally recording out of. Yeah. When she was doing Testimony Tuesday. Shout out to Testimony Tuesday. Shout out your guys that you do Testimony.
TB2 and DJ Radar, the Petty Pimps.
That's love. Hey, the Petty Pimps, man. Shout out to the Petty Pimps. So she convinces me to come over. I go over. I do a run through with her. The lady that owned the space.
Miss Ellie. Shout out to Miss Ellie. Miss Ellie is out of here now.
She's out of here?
Yeah, she's in New Orleans.
Okay, I'm out of here. I didn't want to assume. I love New Orleans, man. Our family, my dad's side of the family. That's where my dad's side of the family's at, man. I love fucking New Orleans, y'all. Shout out to Miss Ellie. So JP pulls me over to the studio. Literally right around the corner from my house. I walk past it every day when I'm walking my dog.
That's why I did it, because it was around the corner from your house.
And she knew I was gonna come. Right around the corner, I could do that. That's my safe space, my zone. So I go around to the studio and I go in and we do a test run. And
she a nervous wreck.
I'm nervous. I'm sweating fucking bullets, man, because I'm in the church. I'm like a hook in the church.
So where we recording is literally in the back of a church, and I had never seen Mo freeze up the way she did that day. She was sitting straight up. She was so over it.
'Cause that's how I am when I go to church.
That's
y'all,
hilarious.
I told y'all about my church journey. I literally went to church for several years straight. Okay. Didn't miss a Sunday, JP. I don't know if you knew that, but literally was in church every Sunday. Started going to weekly services during the week. And there was one point I remember sitting in the back of that church, because I would always sit in the very back, like second, third pew from the back. Never went up front. I went up to the altar a couple times, y'all. Like, you know, and y'all, if you know, like, you've been in a black church, like, you know what it is when you go do that altar call, right? But yeah, I went to church for several years. I want to say like a good, easily 4-5 years straight. Nice. Maybe missed a Sunday every blue moon. Was in the church, involved with the people. Sister Wendy still texts me, man. Shout out to Sister Wendy. Sister Wendy is not listening to this podcast. I pray to God she's not listening to this podcast. But yeah, man, I went to church for several years, and the head pastor of the church tried to hook me up with one of the ministers. And I at one point I convinced myself that I could be a minister's wife. When I walk my dog, I walk past his house every day. And we see each other, we wave, he honks at me when we're like, you know, I ain't gonna say his name, but yeah, I started to see the minister on a regular basis, and the elder of the church, the owner, like this was the head pastor. He's like, I just think that you guys, and I'm like, you don't know me, sir. You know Sister Monique. You don't know your favorite Dr. Bay.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, man. But anyway, back to the story. That's just a little tidbit about me. Back to the story. So I go to his church and we record, and you know, Sister Ella was in the church. You know, Miss Ellie, Sister Ellie. Like, I froze like a hooker in church. I'm not a hooker. Have I ever exchanged money for sex? Mind your motherfucking business. I kid. Don't judge me. Judge your motherfucking mama. Anyhow, I go to the church of JP, and it's just, we're coming up with, when we started coming up with names, that's when I made the decision. I was like, this is absolutely not for me. This ain't what the good Lord has for Sister Monique.
She was so shook.
I was shook. So the name that, when I left out of there, the one name that everybody was talking about when we were saying names was Breaking Chains. And I just walked out of there, and when I left out of the studio, JP, and on my way home, I said, I ain't a Breaking Chains kind of bitch.
Oh, wow.
That's what I said. And I was just like, it's a no for me. Like, I made my mind up. And y'all know I left and I went down to Atlanta.
Yep.
Went down to Atlanta chasing a dollar in a dream, aka a man in a nuts. That's the name of this episode. We gonna title this episode A Man in a Nuts, too.
Which is gonna be very funny considering I'm on this episode. They're gonna know that that's just for you.
They won't even get it. So
they're gonna know that's just for you.
We not gonna do that. I'm gonna come up with something clever, because I got my motherfucking girl, JP Diddy, in the motherfucking building.
See what you did, Ed? Now she's calling me JP Diddy.
Here we are in motherfucking Big Stu Studios.
Fantastic space, man.
Man, I love it here. I absolutely love it here.
Great.
Shout out to Big Stu.
Yeah, it's comfortable. It's very nice.
That's what's up. That's
Very
dope.
Nice.
Yeah, man. So I go over here, I leave out the studio, and I'm like, I'm not a Breaking Chains type of bitch. I just remember saying that to myself. You know, that's my self-talk. And so I went down to Atlanta, and I remember texting JP. She sent me the content, and I never even got back to her for real about it. And I was just like, yeah, I'm in Atlanta. She like, Atlanta? Like, yeah. Like, I was going back and forth down there. You know, I was dealing with this guy. And shit, it's always about a man in a nut. I cracked myself up.
Yeah, y'all see? Now she went from recording in the church to she was in Atlanta the next time. I was like, wait, Like you moved? She's like, no, well, the house, I didn't sell the house or anything.
There, my kids are there. My youngest kid is there. The ex-husband's there. Cause
she's like, but like most of my stuff is,
Yeah, I'm in Atlanta. Yeah, so I put, it was just put on the shelf. And then I got back to St. Louis, we're in the middle of fucking COVID-19 global pandemic. And I'm pressuring my publishing house, and they're like, well, we missed our window in 2018 because, we originally were going to try to release in 2018. We didn't get the non-disclosure agreement signed, so the book was put on the shelf. And then finally get the non-disclosure agreement signed, and then it's like we missed our window. So, I'm just like, fuck it, fuck a window. And then COVID-19 hits, and everybody's on my line like, Mo, what are you doing? Like, we're in the middle of a global pandemic. Like, success happens in the middle of global pandemics.
Absolutely.
And that was the speech JP gave me. Like, literally, that's the speech you gave me when you hit my line. And I'm like, you like, people should be reading your book. And I'm like, we don't have a window. They were going to try and equate the 20th anniversary of the release of Lauryn Hill's album in 2018 into our marketing branding strategy. And since, the non-disclosure agreements were not signed, we missed that.
Right.
So fast forward, I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do. And JP's like, create your own fucking window. JP said, create your own fucking window. If you out there listening to me, man, create your own fucking window. That's the advice that you gave me. And you're like, do a podcast.
Yeah, because you're like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, I'm sitting at home idle as fuck, going crazy. Y'all don't know me. Like, I like to go. I like to be free and do what I want to do and live my life on my terms. And I wasn't doing that. And then she said, create your own window. And I'm sitting up talking to my little cousin, Aaliyah. And I'm telling her about the conversation you and I had. And I'm telling her, about, JP wants me to do this podcast. And she's like, do it. And blah, 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 blah. And just kept trying to push it. And I didn't know where, how, when, what. I had no fucking clue, y'all, man. I didn't know. And I didn't know what the title of the shit. I didn't know where to begin. I talked to JP again, and she's just running me down shit to do. This is what you need to do. Blah, 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 blah. JP does a podcasting workshop, like she said earlier. Yeah. Like if you looking to fucking start a podcast, man, JP, she's gonna get you the training that you need to be comfortable in front of this fucking camera. Because I'm damn near a professional now. I ain't even took the class. That's how much JP fucks with me. True. She gave me the shit off the record. Like, I ain't go to the class. Like, that's how much she fuck with me. And but if you want a podcast, she don't fuck with too many the way she fuck with me. So if you want a podcast, you better hit her up and schedule that workshop. Because, that's me. That's
gotta start somewhere.
I'm talking shit, y'all, man. But you did. You gave me the juice. You gave me the rundown. You told me what to do, how to do it. And I'm talking to my little cousin, Aaliyah, man. Shout out to my motherfucking Lily Pop. She gonna have a fit when she see this shit, man. But shout out to fucking Aaliyah Renee. That's my baby girl. I don't give her enough credit. So we go real quick. Because I'm going to get her on this podcast. She probably will never, but I'm going to drag her down here kicking and screaming, man. Shout out to Lily Pop, man. She straight holds me down. I call her flying off the handle like I do with you. She just listen, and then she be like, no, ma'am. When I post shit on social media, if y'all see me post something on the story or on the timeline, and then it's deleted within a couple minutes, that's motherfucking Lily Pop. They hit my line and said, no, ma'am, that's not what we doing today. She keeps it clean. She keeps me in line because I post memes and certain things. Certain stuff she let fly. But for the most part, she gonna hit my line. Though. Yeah, she hit my line and be like, no, ma'am, that's not what we doing. When I told her that, because there was a situation that I was concerned about, that she was concerned about, I didn't give a fuck. But she was like, what if this goes like public? Like, what if it ends up on World Star? Because it was some World Star worthy shit. And I was like, well, just leak my nudes. And she was like, no, ma'am, that's not that's not the answer.
You're the only person on earth that would be like, you know what? To distract the world.
Celebrities do that shit all the time, JP. Come on. Like, motherfuckers in Hollywood, you think those news got leaked just because, like, there was some underlying shit that probably didn't even get to us because the story died because of this shit.
Because they leaked.
Right. And if it ever come down to it, guess what we gonna do? Lily Pop, I'm sorry, but we gonna leak them motherfucking notes. Anyhow, so Leah, she just like, all right, this is what we gonna do. We gonna do a story time, blah, blah, blah. And look, I hit JP.
I remember.
JP comes out to the house. I'm curled up in the fucking chair. We try to come up with some shit. And I was just like, I was on board, but I wasn't, like, I still didn't know. Like, I was still trying to figure out the logistics of everything. And then I was like, all right, I just started buying shit. Like, I'm gonna buy a table and some chairs and blah, blah, blah. Like, I ain't gonna say I threw it together because I actually sat down and thought about the shit. But I just started ordering shit, some fucking lights, a light, a couple lights. I sent some back, a table and some chairs, got a few little decor and shit together, threw a bookcase together, like, fuck it, we gonna do this shit. Yeah. And it went from story time to Pure Phuckery the Podcast, man. So when you ask, again, as I said before, when you say who the fuck gave her a microphone and a camera, JP Diddy. She encouraged it. And fucking Aaliyah, Lily Pop, my baby girl. That's my little cousin, man. I love her.
You have to admit, though, like, it's the best segue into the book. Though.
Yeah, man. It is. It absolutely is. And I just cannot wait. Like, at first, again, I've been asked this question. What are you afraid of? Success or failure? And I was not afraid of either because I absolutely am okay with failing. I failed before, and failure is part of the fucking game. You have to fail to succeed.
Absolutely.
When you fall, get back up. Keep it pushing. Yeah. We don't give up around here. We do not fucking give up around here. And I've held on to this fucking dream, to this notion in my mind that this book is going to be a thing. And I know that it's something absolutely fucking great because it's raw, it's uncut, it's filtered, just like Pure Phuckery the Podcast. And I say what I mean what I say. And I tell this story, derived from my personal experiences. And JP knows some of the story. She don't know all, but she knows some. Yes. And to have her support and have her encouraging me,
you're says that she believes in me. Parts.
She believes in me.
All three parts.
And yeah, man, I tell this shit because she knows it, but she hasn't read it. But she know me well enough to know that I sat down and I was able to clearly articulate myself, my words, my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions into this 3-part series and tell this fucking story in a manner that only I can. And if you've been listening to Pure Phuckery the Podcast, if you're a fan, you want to read this book because it's all the fuckery that is my life.
I don't think you realize you've actually told me every chapter in the book. Literally in your voice.
I have.
So just like I fed you the podcasting, it would be, we touch base and you'd be like, okay, so in this chapter, I'm talking about this. And do you remember what happened? Or and it's boom, it's like,
yeah. So JP knows the story. She just hasn't read it written out in all of my fucking unapologetic inappropriateness.
So when you called and said, okay, I'm gonna do the podcast, and you started sending me pictures of the set. Mm-hmm. You was just like, look what I bought. I was like, oh, yo, she's serious.
It's so serious. She's really gonna do this shit. Forward. I decided.
That's when I knew. I was just like, oh, okay.
This fucking pandemic that we're in, because we're still in this shit, regardless of what we're all doing, we're still in the middle of this shit, man. And this pandemic has absolutely brought out so much shit in so many people. And
True.
I can attest to that. Without this happening, I probably wouldn't be doing this podcast.
Yeah.
I don't, like, it literally awoke some shit up in me, like, you know, letting me know, like, life too short, A. B, what are you afraid of? Fucking just go. Just step off the fucking porch. Jump off the porch, as my second ex-fiance would say. You know, when he proposed, he says, jump off the porch with me. And that's the shit I find romantic. If you can't come to me and be like, jump off the porch with me. Nigga, what are you even doing here?
Jump off the porch.
That's what he said
Well,
when he
it's
proposed.
just a porch.
Yeah, he said jump off. He said
porch.
jump off the porch with me. Let's get married. Let's have some babies. I was like, yes, Daddy. Let me quit talking shit. So anyhow, man. So yeah, like JP, she came out to the house.
Yeah.
And we trying to record, and I was just like, this ain't it. Like after they left, I was just like, no, it's not it. And finally, I got all the shit. I'm texting JP. I'm doing it, and I did the shit, man. And y'all know, like the day I was supposed to air my Lily Pop Aaliyah, she went into labor. She had the content, like, you know, I had to re-record on the spot by myself, scared shitless. And I just did that shit. Like, I was nervous. I was shaking. Voice was trembling. I got it. And I'm alone in my bedroom recording in my, AKA the fucking Pure Phuckery Studios, the old Pure Phuckery Studios, because now we in the fucking real studio and we got motherfucking Big Stu in the fucking building. Shout out to Big Stu, man. The man, the myth, the legend. Tell your wife I don't really mean anything by that. I just like to make it sound sexy.
Like Stu, like that. Look, I don't
Stu,
want
like,
no trouble.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm with you, Stu. I'm trying to stay out of trouble. I'm with you, Stu.
I ain't no trouble. You just don't want these problems. Nobody does. Anyhow. So yeah, man, JP came out. Got the little chair. I'm in the chair, so I ordered the shit and I decided I'm gonna do the shit. And what did you think when I called you with the name? Had I already told you the name of it?
No, you hadn't.
I had to come up with the name yet. And finally, I was talking.
You called me and you was like, Jay, I got it. And when there's something that you do, and I don't know if you realize now, when you are dead serious about something, you call me Jay. When you BSing, then it's JP. What you think about? But you was like, Jay, I got it. I got the name, and it's my life. It is my life, and it fits. And I'm like, okay. I was like, so what is it? You're like, Pure Phuckery. And I was like, yep. Like immediately, I was like,
I swear she said yep.
I was like, yep.
Yeah, man. And
I promise. I really can't wait for this book to come out. I really
man,
can't.
listen. And I literally, when I told Aaliyah Pure Phuckery, she's like, you do realize you're a doctor, right? Which is what most people say.
That has never mattered.
Around the fuckery.
That doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
To most people.
And I get so much feedback on the name. Like, I've had, like, my basketball, suburbia moms, they love the shit. They're like, you're so brave, and, you know. So, hey, if not me, then who?
But I promise you the name.
It's perfect for me, man. And it's not offensive because here's the thing. People, like, I've reached out to people and say, hey, I want you on Pure Phuckery The Podcast. They immediately get turned off by the name because of the fuckery. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's not bullshit. It's bullshit. It's your fuckery too. The bullshit that life throws our way. That's all it is. Like the fuckery that is life. You know, and we highlight it, you know, I attempt to highlight it in a positive manner. Because if you can't laugh at your failures, if you can't laugh through the bad shit, like,
those are all lessons.
Yes.
Everything is a chapter in that book.
Hey, what we learned at our workplace, use your failures as opportunities.
That's true.
That was one of their what was it? I can't remember. It's been a while.
They applied it. Yeah,
yeah, man. Use your failures as opportunities.
Jesus, that was a long
and that's what I do. That was something that was one of my great takeaways from that organization. Use your failures as opportunities. Yeah. And that's what I do. And it's like, if I can't sit up and laugh about it, and just be okay with it.
Yeah. But, something that the reason why I feel like I can do what I do is I'm okay with me. So that makes me okay with everybody else.
Exactly.
Right? So, people do what they do. It has nothing to do with me.
Nothing.
Right? So, it's people all the time. Like, I told some people, I was like, I'm going to be on Pure Phuckery The Podcast. And they were like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah.
Because it's not even that. It's just a name. And it's,
Well, and not only that, like, let's be real. Like you said, everybody has, operated in low vibrations.
Exactly.
I'm not saying you got to live there, but let's be real. You're there.
Yes.
Right? If you survey the people in your life, you were somebody's headache.
Yep.
Probably still is.
I'm trying to tell you.
I'm just saying. So I think people get caught up on the wrong thing, and I don't act very well. Know that. You know that from the corporate world to, full-fledged 100% entrepreneurship.
Yep.
I don't act well. So what you get is what you get. And I'm okay with you being you. Like, I have friends that are at every level.
Every level.
And I love them all the same.
Yes.
Right? I love them all the same. So, if it's about just being you, I think that's why so many people... I can't be associated with this, that, and the other. Your light is your light.
Exactly.
Cut all that out.
When I reach out and I ask people to come on, like, it's all about the energy to me. And, like, a lot of my people are handpick them off social media. Mm-hmm. And when I see them and I see what they're putting out there into the world, it's like, okay, I think they're dope. And when I reach out and say, hey, I want you on Pure Phuckery The Podcast, like, sometimes I'll get a reply, sometimes I don't. And I think for the most part, the people who don't reply or end up not coming on is because they're like, Pure Phuckery. They see the name and they're like,
I know that. Because, my show is Testimony Tuesday, and I'm a whole lesbian.
Two completely different
spectrums
of the rainbow.
So we get people who, people have even emailed us and be like, how is your show that name? And you have a whole lesbian that's part of. And it's just like the same way that you're judging me without knowing me.
Without knowing anything about me. You do not know.
You have no idea who I am. So I think people, and I say this all the time, like, focus on the message and not the packaging.
Exactly.
Right? Something got a little wrinkle in it and you toss it away. That could be your blessing.
Exactly.
Right? That could be your blessing.
JP, we drop big gems around here on Pure Phuckery The Podcast, man. Every episode, there's a gem drop. It might, and here's the thing: I don't do it for the people who are, Bible thumping. They get offended by a cuss word here or there. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Or a lot of cuss words, because we drop a lot of cuss words on here. Big Stu, count how many times I said fuck in this episode. We gonna put it. That's gonna be a question. And look, I ain't even saying fuck F-U-C-K. I'm saying fuck P-H-U-C-K. There's a difference. But I don't do it for those people. I don't do it for the people who get offended by a cuss word here or there. You know what I'm saying? I flat out say it all the time. I might not be your Henny, your cup of tea, but I'm somebody's Henny straight. Yep. Like, all the time. I have people on a weekly that DM me, message me, comment on the podcast episodes, and they love the shit. Yeah. They love it because it's raw, it's uncut, it's unfiltered. I say what I want to say because this is my safe space. This is my safe space to fucking just voice my opinion and say what I want to say and be who I am unapologetically. And I wanted, that's now that the book is after the podcast because it's been in the making, but it's still going to come after the podcast. Right. People have a sense of what they're getting themselves into when they pick up that book too. Like, I don't want my auntie to pick up the book and then call my phone like, Monique, I can't believe. Like, auntie, I know you didn't watch the episode of the podcast. It's not one single episode where I wasn't me. Like, the first couple, I was a little fidgety, but I worked through it. And now, here I am, like, freak flag flying. And I'm okay with this part of my life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that the podcast came before the book, because now when the book drops, people have a general idea of what to expect. But guess what? I don't care how much you think you know. You have no idea. I'm telling you.
Yeah. You know, something else that kind of I think people forget is it literally takes all of us. It takes all kinds, right? And everybody is layers and layers of different things, right? So, you know, just because you sit in the front pew don't mean that you're not treating somebody like trash. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, live and let live. Like, I as long as you aren't trying to, like, take advantage of people or harm somebody or something like that, if it floats your boat, float on. Like, float on. Like, and if people just operated in love, like I say that all the time, like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it with you, but I lead with love. It's always from a loving place. It's always from a place of, this is what I see from my view of love.
Right.
That's it. That's all. I don't care what you wear. I don't care who you sleep with. I don't care who you crushing on. I don't care what you do for fun. Like, that has nothing to do with me.
It doesn't concern me, man. And the moment that people realize that, the world will be a better fucking place. Easily. Like, the second people realize, like, the next person, what they do in their life, how they live their life, what they're doing does not concern me, and you focus on you, the better, like, man, we will all be so much better off. And, like, I operate in that energy where I'm only concerned about me and what I got going on, my kids, you know, because that's my only priority at this point. You know, I'm concerned about my friends to a certain extent, but man, when you start operating in that energy, your life will be so much better. Where you're not focused on nobody else and what they're doing. Like, think of all the problems you could release from your life if you set up and decided that ain't got shit to do with me. Because that's what I do. I say, they ain't got shit to do with me, and I keep it pushing. For real, like, man, that's real talk. So, yeah, man, we got JP Diddy in the motherfucking building.
Here we go.
Nah, but for real, man, like, it's mad love, JP. I absolutely, with my whole fucking heart, I appreciate you. You have no idea what's the word I'm looking for? Like, how much of an influence, a positive influence, how much of an impact you have had in my life.
I appreciate
and getting me here in front of this camera, behind these mics, I probably would have, without you, I probably would have never did it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I probably would have never did it. Like, every single person in my life, like, I value them in their own way, like, for their own purpose. And not to say that, you know, I won't even say that. But, again, like I said earlier, different friends serve different purposes in our lives, right?
Absolutely.
And you've been a friend in my life that has been a huge support, a motivator, promoter, because she shared the shit out of Pure Phuckery content, man.
Absolutely.
I ain't never got a hit. I've never had to hit her DMs like, JP, share this. She automatically does it. I mean, you know, it's all love.
We're friends, so I know your podcast. I'm looking for it on Friday.
Yeah,
because
she knows. Phuckery Friday.
Yeah. So you know, people. You know, I may not. Because I have a crazy schedule, so I may not make it to everything, and I don't hang out a lot because I'm in the lab. I got a lot going on, but you know, I can do that. That's the least
I can do. Yeah, man. That's love, man. And people don't realize that, like, if your friend is trying to build something, do something, and this ain't no shade to nobody, because like I'm good. I understand. If you don't share it, I ain't sitting up stressing like, oh, we're no longer friends, it's the end of the world. But if you do share it, like, I recognize that shit, and I'm here publicly recognizing JP as like one of my hugest supporters and hugest motivators. Like, you encourage me, you inspire me. You absolutely inspire me to walk away from corporate America. You know what I'm saying? Because you were on a fast track, regardless of the naysayers and the haters and the people that were pushing back. You were absolutely on a fast track in corporate America, where you could have climbed that corporate ladder easily. And, you know, absolutely with my support, like, I would have pushed, you know that. I would have pushed for it. And she didn't want it. And she walked away. She absolutely walked away. I remember at the time you were working with Chingy, right?
Yep.
You were working with Chingy. Yeah. And shout out to fucking Chingy. I hit his DMs. And I did. Did he ever hit you? Did he hit you? Because I was like, do I have to use my connections to get you on the podcast?
I'll circle back around.
And he's like, who are your connections? And I was like, JP. Like, I did. I name drop. And I'm not a name dropper at all. Like, I know some people, but I don't use them to, use their names to my advantage. But in that particular situation, I did. I name dropped. I said, because I had just, listen.
I don't know. There's a couple people have hit me up showing interest in doing some stuff with him. So I need to reach out. We haven't connected in a while.
So hit Chingy up and tell him, get at his favorite doctor.
We haven't connected in a while, so I need to, I don't do anything with artists really.
Okay, yeah, because you on a whole nother level. Yeah. Fucking JP Diddy in the building, y'all. Oh man, I love it here, man. I love it here. All right, JP, drop some gems real quick. Let's what we riding to? 5. You on a road trip, 12 hours. What you riding to? 5 artists. You only got 5 artists. Their entire playlist. Collabs, features, whatever.
That's easy. So 8Ball MJG.
All right.
Layla Hathaway.
All right.
Everybody knows how I feel about Layla. Sweet baby Jesus.
Sweet baby Jesus. Yeah. That's one of her hashtags. Always. Sweet baby Jesus. And JP voice.
Anita Baker.
You
got to give me some Stevie. I need some Stevie Wonder, because I try to stay calm. A lot of people like the hype music. No, I don't need hype music.
I feel you.
I try to stay calm, and you can give me some Rochelle Farrell, and I'm straight.
That's a nice little smooth ride.
Yeah, because
smooth ride. Where you road tripping to, JP?
I gotta stay calm.
She went, bae. Shout out to Bay. We ain't saying no names. JP Bay. Shout out to JP Bay. You with Bay, right? Where y'all riding to? From St. Louis to where, JP?
Anywhere she want to go.
Anywhere she want to go.
That's why I'm partially raspy right now.
All right.
She turned 40.
40 as fuck.
Wednesday. On Wednesday. So she got 4 surprises for 4 days.
That's dope.
I've been talking for between workshops and all of that, literally 12 days straight.
12 days straight. That's all love, man. That's all love, man. Shout out to fucking JP Diddy in the fucking building. JP CEO. Fucking cheers, y'all. Shout out to my homegirl. We got JP in the building, man. Testimony Tuesday. You got the podcast and workshop. What else? Unheard Media. You got the recruiting.
Yeah.
All this shit. She got hella shit going on, man.
I do want to shout out my homegirl, Chanel. She's in Cali. She has a show coming out called Yes, That's Vegan. She's like a millennial foodie that cooks vegan meals, and I promise you they don't look vegan.
All right.
I'm
going to have to tell my son about her. My son went vegan.
Yeah, April 5th on a network called The Taste Of.
Okay.
The Taste Of TV.
All right, shout that out, man. Yeah. That's what's up. All love.
She killing it.
Killing it. You killing it.
I appreciate it.
Talk about a motherfucker killing it.
I appreciate
it. JP Diddy in the fucking building, man. Shout out to my fuckers out there. We absolutely appreciate you all for tuning in. Thank you for the love, the likes, the shares, the comments. Man, y'all keep me going on a daily basis, and it's only up from here. I'm trying to tell you, we doing big shit. Shout out to my guy, Big Stu Media. I am your host. It's your favorite Dr. Bae, Monique Ross. Thank you, guys. Y'all know where y'all can find me. SOO Sophisticated One on Instagram, or Pure_Phuckery on Instagram. Monique Ross on Facebook. I am on Twitter as SOOMOE Moe. I ain't on TikTok. I ain't on whatever the fuck else. Snapchat. I am not Snapchatting you, my pussy, ever. What? Sir, stop asking. We gonna shut it down right here. Thank you guys for tuning in to Pure Phuckery, the fucking podcast. I am your host, your favorite Dr. Bae, Monique Ross. Peace.